Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to talk about Venser. Now I promise you whatever you have in mind is better than what this deck is. This is another one of my more unique creations, I guess we would say. At 4 mana 2/2 is really not reason why you're playing him. He's got Flash, and he bounces that spell or permanent, which is kind of unique, to bounce a spell on the stack. Eh. But when trying to decide how to build him, one word on this card stuck out more than all the rest. Flash. Now, I don't know the actual song from the movie Flashdance, but you know what? This is Venser's Flashdance. Every card can be in this deck, minus the lands, of course, can be played at instant speed. So what I did was all the creatures, enchantments, everything must have Flash. Here we go. Now, as far as mana acceleration at instant speed, High Tide is what we got. That's just the long and the short of it. Now we get into creatures, and I found something surprising. I didn't play the fairy deck back in Lorwyn Block. I was playing EDH when everybody else was playing standards. So, but the fairies, there was quite a few fairies I was able to find. The Harbinger, Scion, Invaders, Dewdrop Sky, Pestermite, Spellstutter. I mean, and not all these are from Lorwyn Block. Quickling, Inspired, Sentinels. Then we get into the folk, as it were. Now, there's not as many merfolk, obviously, that I have. The Trickster. Oh, wait, is that it? For reals, yo? Now, also, what we'll notice is a lot of these are actual wizards, whether they be merfolk or fairies or Vidalcan birds. Stuff like wizard cycling comes into play. Narumiha. By the way, is it just me, or is that name absolutely fun to say? The Husher. Darksteel Sentinel. You know, he ain't, we play him for his staying power, and everywhere he is in a deck, he is in there for a reason. This is a card drawing machine, and we all know it. Deceiver Exarch, because, why not? Infiltrator. Now, the rest of these, I looked up. I was like, you know what? That's about it. Oh, besides a Needlebug, and I was like, I just don't know. They don't feel like enough creatures, so I just looked up blue flash creatures with flying, and I got these 7 guys. The Predator, which I mean 3/4, but for a giant flyer, Wizards puts a premium on it. 5 mana for 3/3 is about what you're gonna get for a flash flyer. Because I mean, like that's almost the same card except it's a Drake. So that was where I went for the creatures. Now, creature wise, I'm aware that that's not. There's no biggins in there. There's no fatties. And that's to be honest with you, that could be a problem. But the upside is we do have the element of surprise. you know, at the end of the turn before us, or during the middle of combat, or just holding up cards and some blue mana is a lot of times deterrent enough. But I wanted a little bit of card draw. We have the Aura of Ophidian Eye. That way, you know you're going to get at least one activation off of it. Now, you don't have to play this on your creature. If somebody's got a, you know, whatever, hey, that's good. Whispers of the Muse card draw, but albeit expensive card draw. It is 6 mana to use, well, and buy it back. But if you're about to untap and you have 6 mana laying around, keep watch for each attacking creature. That's pretty neat. And then, of course, we have Una's Grace. All Una's Grace really does is it turns the lands in your hand that you don't want into new cards. You're just swapping out lands for cards. Now, I'll show you 3 cards here. They are Sleight of Mind, Mind Bend, and Glamour Die. Now, the reason why those are in there is because how many cards do you play with or against that uses colors or, yeah, one of them does either or, colors or land types, but just colors. You know, whenever someone casts a blue spell, or a black creatures can't block it, or, you know, non-black creatures destroy a target, whatever. I've got those in there just because I've been wanting to kind of. I may actually end up focusing a deck around that and having every card have some kind of um, land type or color. And I guess I would probably need the Ice-Crown Scepter for that, to reuse the thing over and over with. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at counter magic because we know it's in here. I mean, we've got the basics: counterspell, negate, wizard's retort, because, you know, we got a lot of wizards. Sage's dousing. It's a mana leak plus a card draw, so Supreme Will gives us that option, which I really, really like. What is that? Mana leak or impulse? That's kind of sweet. Flash counter. Y'all know I put cards in for Cyclonic Rift. Oh, there. I want to work on something to get better at the cards stacking up or whatever. Steel Sabotage. Everybody plays with artifacts. Mental Misstep. Because you want to tilt somebody, counter their turn 1 Soul Ring. It tilts them. Especially when you don't have any mana. And then our last counter spell is, of course, Overwhelming Intellect. Now, here again, you've got to hold up 6 mana. But that's not that big a deal for this particular deck because we're holding up all the mana every turn anyway. So it's not like you're not playing something on your turn to represent this. You're not playing. The only thing we're doing on our turn is dropping a land, which, since I mentioned land, we're going to talk about our 2 non-basics in Rogue's Passage and Tech Edge. Now, I guess let's look at what I would consider removal. Now, Leaden Fist is kind of a different animal. I can see this going either way. And by the way, Doesn't the pose that he's in look absolutely painful? Polymorphous Jest. This is our board wipe, because if they swing out with a team and you jest them, and you just block and kill all their things, and that's how it is. Spin into Myth. Yeah, how long's it been since you've seen this card in the deck? It is 5 mana. I was really hoping that Fate Seal was going to be a thing. I was hoping a lot of stuff from Future Sight was going to be a thing. Like, where's the rest of the cycle of Grove of the Burn Willows? They won't do the blue-black one because of memory issues, but even the Horizon Canopy cycle would be amazing. But anyway, Dominate. I like it. Yeah, I mean, it's not just clear cut steal that dude. You gotta pay. You know how hard it was for me not to put Jump in this deck, because when I was going through the 4th edition binder, the Jump that was on top was not English, Sprung, and I want to say that's German. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Sprung, and I saw it and I read it. Of course, y'all know I love Jump anyway, and I went into the song, and I don't sing, by the way. Well, okay, let's start from the top here. Ghostly Flicker. You're going to blink 2 of your things and then bring them back, which is going to really help with Venser. Now, that is probably the correct way to build Venser, is, actually taking advantage of his ability. Wipe Away is, now, automatically, cards with split second, I place a little higher on the list. Rescue, of course, to bring Venser back, as well as Curfew. Curfew's a little better because, everybody gets to do it. It's an advantage for us, but not probably so much for the other folks. Ray of Command, it's an instant. It steals a dude for a turn, but odds are you're probably not giving it back anyway, because you're probably stealing something with the intention of killing it. Leonin Blade Trap. Yeah. 5 mana for an attacking Pyroclasm. Deluge. I really like Deluge because, here again, right before your turn, Hibernation, all green permanents. I think if you printed this card with all 5 different color words, the green one, the one that said return all green permanents, would be the best, because green's going to encompass more tokens. Now, oh snap. Yeah, it's just free. So now metal reads so weird. How many times does it use the word target? 1, 2, 3, 4. It uses the word target 4 times. Anyway, yeah. They target one of your creatures, you're just going to swerve it out. Today's wording is much cleaner. Even like the deflection wording is just like, okay, hey. No, I think you meant to Sword to Plowshare your own commander. I'm pretty sure you meant to disenchant your whatever. Playing the Mind Games, because, why not? It's buyback, and it can tap down those pesky blockers that more than likely outclass our creatures. Mirror Match. Now, I was really kind of uncertain as to what category to put Mirror Match in. It's like a defensive board wipe, or it can be. I mean, square static creatures are pretty much the norm. Things that are higher toughness than power aren't exactly common. So this can be an absolute one-sided wrath. Oh, you gonna come at me? And then our last card, besides a whole bunch of islands, is of course Time Stop. Now, Time Stop. I love this card. I've always loved this card. I think it's worth the 6 mana because you exile everything on the stack. This is probably the greatest counterspell I've ever seen. It stops combat right in the middle. It's doesn't get around split second. But you know what? There's no better feeling than looking at somebody and saying, "You're done." It's kind of a combo protection. Anyway, that's what I've got for Mr. Flash Dance. I have got a little project going. I'll show you all the project. It appears that I have not built any of the Morrow cycle. Yeah, y'all remember these guys from Saviors of Kamigawa? There's one for each color. Of course, Morrow is, there's a story behind that name, and I'll explain it in one of these videos. But they did a legendary Morrow of each one, and I happened to pick up 5 Reliquary Towers the other day, and I said, you know what? That's what I need to do, because every single one of these needs a Reliquary Tower. Well, that's what I have got for today. I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But I think right now, it is time to shuffle and cut